Do you support reparations, and would you legislate for an anti-Black crime bill?
Thank you.
Wait, did you just hear what this guy asked in the middle of a packed town hall? You won't believe the politician's answer. This is the exact moment things went completely off the rails.
Restoration, repairing past harms is part of my faith tradition. It's part of the values I was raised with. And it's exactly why we need a lot of the policies we've been talking about here to invest in Black communities, to invest in Black Texans, whether it's tuition relief, whether it's home ownership grants, whether it is baby bonds to ensure that we are helping to build that generational wealth. We have to correct the injustices of our past. I talked about Sam Branch.
Look at the crowd's reaction the second he starts defending reparations and a quote-unquote anti-Black crime bill. It's wild to see a politician double down so casually on such a polarizing topic. What's really fascinating here isn't just his stance, but the absolute confidence he has while saying it in a room full of people who are clearly divided. Notice how he brings his own faith tradition into the argument to justify the policy? That's a classic debate tactic to disarm religious voters, but you have to wonder if it actually worked or just made people more angry. And pay attention to the guy in the hat who asked the question. His body language is completely rigid. You can cut the tension in that room with a knife. Politicians usually dodge these kinds of direct, confrontational questions, but he leans right into it. Whether you agree with him or not, watching a town hall immediately turn into a high-stakes ideological battleground is just a stark reminder of how deeply fractured local politics have become right now. It really proves that the most viral moments always happen when the script gets thrown out the window.
And I stand by it. The homeschooling that I was referring to is the crazy Christian homeschooling. It is trickle-down stupidity. You have to be dumber than a box of hot rocks to sit down with your kids and teach them that dinosaurs and man lived on the planet at the same time, that the earth is 5,000 years old, and on and on. But more than anything, the reason they're melting down so much about this is because homeschooling is inherently patriarchal, and it is a huge push of the fascist project because it keeps women at home. And over 90% of all homeschooling parents are the mother. You know, they don't want women to be out in the workforce to make their own money and have independence so they can divorce their piece of shit closet case husbands when they.
Did you catch that extreme pivot? She goes from criticizing educational standards straight into calling homeschooling a fascist project designed to keep women trapped in the house. It's a massive leap in logic, but look at her facial expressions. She is completely convinced of this conspiracy theory. She's claiming that 90% of homeschooling parents are just mothers being forced to stay out of the workforce by their husbands. It completely ignores the millions of families who choose this route for safety, personalized learning, or flexibility. The way she aggressively frames independent family choices as some sort of patriarchal trick to prevent women from making their own money is just mind-blowing. It really highlights this growing hostility toward parents wanting control over their kids' education. You can practically feel the disdain radiating through the screen. When someone uses terms like trickle-down stupidity to describe parents making sacrifices for their children, it tells you everything you need to know about the ideological bubble they are living in. The fact that she is broadcasting this level of judgment to thousands of listeners shows just how wide the cultural disconnect really is today.
In June of 2023, nearly 3 years before I became governor, a serious software error in New Jersey's motor vehicle system led to the improper voter registration of what we believe to be roughly 6,600 people in our state. When New Jerseyans applied for a driver's license or identification at the MVC, they were asked if they wanted to register to vote. In the case of this error, some individuals indicated that they weren't citizens and weren't eligible to vote, but the software registered them anyway.
Wait, let's back this up and really process what she just admitted at a live press conference. A so-called software error at the DMV somehow registered thousands of non-citizens to vote, and she drops this massive bombshell like it's just a routine weather update. Look at the officials standing behind her. They look incredibly uncomfortable, shifting their weight, staring blankly ahead. They know how bad this sounds. She literally admits that people explicitly checked the box saying they were not citizens, and the software just registered them anyway. How does a critical government system designed to protect the integrity of our elections just accidentally auto-enroll ineligible voters for years? It completely shatters the narrative that our registration systems are flawless and impenetrable. When the very agencies responsible for verifying identity are failing this spectacularly, it's no wonder people are questioning the process. The casual nature of this disclosure is what's truly alarming. No panic, no major apologies, just a bureaucratic shrug for a systemic failure. You really have to ask yourself what other glitches are hiding in these systems that simply haven't been caught or publicly disclosed yet.
That's breaking news. Making sure.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, they disclosed it. They're going to fix it.
6,600.
With laws that they have on the books.
Yeah.
6,600 individuals didn't vote illegally.
That's not for certain. I mean, they're
actually-
registered, so they could if they wanted to, right?
But there's an independent investigation that New Jersey has initiated, and so far the proof shows that a very, very, very small fraction voted illegally, and they have discovered this, and they're going to continue investigating it.
Look at how quickly this representative tries to downplay the situation when the reporter presses him on the street. He acknowledges that thousands of individuals were illegally registered, but then immediately tries to brush it off by saying, well, they didn't actually vote. But wait, pay attention to the reporter in the red dress. She completely cuts through the spin. She rightly points out that if they are on the rolls, they could vote if they wanted to. The vulnerability is already there. The way he nervously adjusts his stance when confronted with the actual numbers is a massive tell. It's incredible how politicians will minimize a glaring security gap as long as they think it hasn't been fully exploited yet. Imagine leaving the vault door to a bank wide open and telling people not to worry because nobody has walked out with the cash yet. This is exactly why public trust is at an all-time low. When independent media actually forces them to answer unscripted questions, the prepared talking points completely fall apart on camera. It just shows how desperate they are to maintain the illusion of control.
Breaking right now, new details coming in on the governor of New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill, announcing 6,600 non-citizens have been removed from the voter rolls. The governor also is now ordering an independent investigation into the issue. Officials do say it was a software error at the state's Motor Vehicle Commission, adding those people between June 2023, June 2024. Officials say 400 of those non-citizens did cast ballots. So again, some movement there in New Jersey with Mikey Sherrill making that disclosure and ordering an investigation. Of course, something that we know the administration has been looking for states to do. We'll track that.
Check out the background footage they're rolling here while the anchor breaks this story. You see everyday citizens heading to the ballot boxes, assuming everything is perfectly secure, while the news breaks that nearly 7,000 non-citizens were sitting right there on the voter rolls. It's surreal to watch. The anchor reveals that this software glitch was active for over a year, from June 2023 to June 2024. That is an eternity in the political world. What is totally shocking is that the state only noticed it after a fraction of these ineligible people actually cast ballots. You have to wonder how many other states are using the exact same software vendor for their DMV registrations. If it happened in a massive state like New Jersey without anyone noticing for 12 months, it's completely naive to think it's isolated. This isn't just a minor administrative typo, it's a fundamental breach of the system. Notice how the anchor emphasizes the independent investigation. That's code for the state frantically trying to cover its tracks before the next major election cycle. It is a terrifying glimpse into how fragile these digital databases really are.
I think that Donald Trump has done more to undermine free elections in this country than certainly anyone in my lifetime, including Vladimir Putin. So certainly this is ongoing. He has called into question the 2020 election, which Let's recall his administration ran and had every tool available to the federal government to run well. I guess they did not.
Look at the sheer audacity of this pivot. Instead of taking absolute responsibility for her state's massive registration failure, she instantly deflects and starts blaming Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. I mean, you literally cannot make this up. She is standing at a podium addressing a system failure that happened under her watch and somehow manages to make it about foreign interference and a former president. Watch her hand gestures. She's using definitive, aggressive chops to try and project authority, but it just comes across as entirely defensive. It's the ultimate political magic trick. Look over here at the boogeyman so you don't look at the thousands of ineligible voters we accidentally registered. Blaming someone else for questioning the election system while simultaneously admitting your own system is broken is Olympic-level mental gymnastics. It perfectly encapsulates the lack of accountability we see in local government today. Whenever a massive error is exposed, the immediate reflex is never to apologize. It's always to point the finger at a national political rival to distract the press. It is almost insulting to the intelligence of the voters.
Black people can't swim. Have you ever heard someone say that? Or wondered where that idea came from?
No.
Is it even true? No. No, it's not. So where did it come from? History. For generations, Black Americans were denied access to many public pools, swimming lessons, and opportunities to learn water safety. This was never about biology. It was about access. And when we ignore that history, we don't just get the past wrong. We make it easier to explain away families' grief instead of meeting it with empathy. Because when we know the truth, it's a little harder to dismiss someone's loss.
Did you catch the massive leap in logic this creator just made? She's trying to explain water safety disparities entirely through the lens of generational trauma and mid-century pool access. While the historical facts about segregated pools are absolutely real and deeply unjust, she uses it to completely dismiss any other factors regarding why some children don't learn to swim today. Look at her intense lecturing tone. She's framing a complex issue involving modern community resources, urban planning, and family choices as a singular, inescapable historical curse. The way she says, we don't just get the past wrong, we make it easier to explain away grief, it's incredibly manipulative. She is essentially weaponizing empathy to force her specific ideological worldview onto the audience. What's really concerning is how social media rewards this kind of overly simplified, highly emotional, historical revisionism. Instead of promoting modern solutions like free community swimming lessons, the focus is entirely on maintaining a narrative of permanent victimization. It's a perfect example of how complex social issues are flattened into bite-sized outrage content for clicks, ultimately helping absolutely no one. What do you think about these clips? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.